Not sure if this is working. It is Mickey Talks, episode 25. We are on the air, thank God.
Technically, this is episode 27 now. You know that?
How's that? Oh, yeah, this one, yeah. Brought to us by Barnes Paving. Amazing people. I hope the sound's working. If someone could check that on their phone real quick, Derek. Barnes Paving, BARNES paving.com, or give them a call, 443-243-3710. Barnes Paving is amazing. No job too big, too small. From patches on residential driveways to full site work, Barnes Paving is incredible, and they're great people. Doug and his wife are just the best. BARNES paving.com. Once again, 443-243-3710. It is Mickey along with Matt. And Matt,
Yes, sir.
I'm here to tell you something that they can hear us. We tried to go live.
Hallelujah, yes.
And I'm very excited today because a guy I've admired for a very long time, I have a lot of respect for, I've gotten to know personally. I've had just great, man-to-man conversations with the guy. To me, he's a Baltimore icon because he came from, I say nothing. He knows what I mean by that. And imagined a life or built his life into being an amazing story.
It's an incredible story. I was just telling you on one of the other episodes we did say that didn't make it to the air.
Yeah.
That I can't wait to read his book now. I'm incredibly excited.
Joining us on the show today, none other than Baltimore Blast owner, the most successful sports franchise owner in Baltimore history. How many championships, Ed? 11 or 10? 10
Yeah.
championships. Ladies and gentlemen, Ed Hale. How you doing, Ed? Great to have you, buddy.
Thank you.
Now, Ed, one of the things I want to jump right into.
Can I use one of the lines I used when we were trying to record before?
Sure.
This is 25, right?
Yeah, 25th episode.
This is the longest job you've ever had.
This is pretty much, this is going down the road of ultimate success for me. Ed, you...
Mazel tov.
Yeah, mazel tov, exactly. Ed, one of the things I find, we're going to talk about a lot, but one of the things I find most exciting about you, or most interesting, is your CIA stuff, which didn't even come out until, how old were you when you finally told people what you did?
It was about 8 years ago.
Yeah, so, and then how long were you in? 20, 25?
10 years.
10 years. And you told us basically, and I'll recap a little bit, you were working, at Bank of Baltimore, and someone from Alex Brown, who was that again?
Buzzy Krongard.
Right.
We were in the same building. He was the chairman of Alex Brown.
Yeah.
He's the first Jewish chairman and CEO of Alex Brown, which is a silk stocking company. Very smart guy. I was the first redneck to be the chairman of the Bank of Baltimore.
First redneck. What were you worth then, Ed?
Well,
Tens of millions.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, I did a hostile takeover of that, and so we just happened to be in the same building. We owned the building together with another guy, and so we're in there one day, and he says, "Let's go for a walk."
Yeah.
And we went over to the USF&G building, which is now the Transamerica building at Light Street.
Yeah.
And we got in there, and there were a bunch of people in the room in the skiff, which is it's a controlled atmosphere. Nobody can hear you.
Seriously?
Well, yeah, nobody. I'm
Right.
sure.
Yeah, all over government buildings.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, so that was a private building. It was kind of surprising. But anyway, I went in there, and they definitely wanted to talk to me about, because of my interest in trucking, or not interest, I had trucks, barges, tugboats, ships. I was the owner of a sports team. I'm a financial guy.
Right.
And so I met all the criteria to be a NOC, a non-official capacity, to be a person that would run spies for the agency.
So now, real quick, Ed, when you say run spies for the agency, what did you do? What was the job?
You graduate from Georgia Tech or from Auburn.
Yeah.
You come to me, I give you a Hale container line hat and credentials, and I make a payroll to you every couple of weeks.
Wow, that's so cool.
That's amazing.
It
Now,
really is.
So I understand. So you're a wealthy guy. You have international business dealings. It's easy for you to enter and exit other countries and be around influential people. And so therefore you set up your company to bring in those spies. Basically, they're working for your company, even though they're doing... Who finances that? Is that out of Ed Hale's pocket?
The CIA financed it. They set up a company, an investment company called Parex, P-A-R-E-X. I don't think I've ever said that out loud.
I hope I'm not going to get killed because of this.
Shot.
Yeah. Lucky me, finally.
You don't have to duck, though.
So, like, they just basically do business with your business,
Right.
put the money in so that you
Right.
can financially distribute that money. You know, anywhere else, I believe that's called laundering, but I'm not sure. But I guess if the CIA does it, it's government business.
It definitely is, and
Yeah.
it's going on for
Hundreds of years,
since
probably.
A guy named
Yeah.
Dulles, who started the CIA.
I didn't mean hundreds, but yeah,
Yeah.
dozens of years. And you know, it's amazing to me. Like, to me, you're a hero. Like, you took your business, you had all the money in the world at that time, right? You could have done anything you wanted, and you're serving you could have got killed
Well,
to help the country.
I didn't view it like that. I didn't think it was heroic or any of that.
Yeah,
It was one of these things where I really felt like, you know, if I'm given a chance to help the country,
yeah,
I did not believe in Vietnam.
Right.
I didn't even know what Vietnam was when I was in Spanish
Sure.
Point High School.
Right.
And a lot of my friends were graduating, went over and got killed. I was very much against that.
yeah,
And I had orders to go when I was in the Air Force as a medic.
right.
And I really didn't want to go, but I was going to go because
Sure.
you're obligated
You
to
got to
do
do
it.
it.
That's it.
Right.
So I felt just like maybe a little bit, I don't know, guilty of, you know, not wanting to do what the
Yeah,
country wants to do.
I got
because
it.
I didn't know any better. But when given an opportunity to do something with people that are actively trying to hurt us,
Yeah.
I was all in. And it didn't take anything for me to do it.
Did you ever have to, like? I don't even know if I can. I want to ask though. I mean, did you ever have to kill anybody? I mean, can you talk about that, or
No,
no, you didn't, or no, you can't talk about it?
both.
Fair enough. All right, I respect and appreciate that. Well, thank you, Ed, for your service to the country in all sincerity. I mean, I do think it's amazing.
Yeah, well, you know, what other there was no monetary motivation for you, obviously, at that point. So you
No.
did it all out of for our country.
Well, Krogard said to me from Alex Brown, he says, you don't want any money? I said, no, I'm fine. I would go to different countries and I would pay for myself to go.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And were you ever, like, did they ever capture you, or like, were you ever like, were you ever in the enemy's hands?
In front of a bunch of people at the King David Hotel in Jerusalem. I'm getting ready to speak at some conference.
Sure.
They came at Shin Bet, which is above Mossad.
Right.
They're super, super smart.
Yeah.
The Israelis are unbelievable.
Yeah. No doubt.
So they came in and asked me to come out of the room, and there was about 3 or 4 of them. They came out, take me out, and put me in a room. They said, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
And I said, "You know, I'm here on a mission, economic development mission."
Wow.
And they, "Well, why are you doing this, this, and this?" And I answered their questions directly, and I answered them properly, and they let me go after a little bit.
So
And
once they knew you were legit, and you weren't really like a double agent or
right,
trying
I
to
was
screw
not
them.
gonna, you know, I was all in on Israel, and they knew it.
Yeah.
And they just confirmed it by interviewing me.
That's pretty wild, man. Can you imagine?
No, man, that's when you start sweating. The beads of sweat start
Well, I
forming
mean,
on your forehead.
But to be honest, at that level, like, it's one thing that, like, the cops come to your house because you stole a bike and they figured it out. But when the greatest, like, intelligence agencies
the
in the
interrogators.
world come and grab you out of a room and put you in it and say, "Who the hell are you?" Yeah,
Well, I was really trying to think, how in the world did they find out about
yeah.
who I am or what I'm doing? How did
crazy.
they do that? There's somebody inside the
Yeah.
CIA that told them.
Sure.
And you can't share any of this with even your closest family and friends,
No,
right?
I didn't.
Yeah. Well,
You
I mean,
didn't tell anybody, Ed? No one knew.
One person or 2 people.
Right.
A guy, Governor Schaefer. I told him.
Wow.
I told him and a guy named Melvin Kavik. Melvin Kavik is a Jewish friend of mine. I lived in Pikesville.
Yeah.
And I'm very good friends with his family and him. He was a Marine,
Yeah.
and I mentioned it to him.
Wow.
I said, if in case I'm a grease spot on the desert someplace,
You know what? Let my
is where I'm gonna
family
be.
know. Yeah.
That's correct. That's
Yeah.
right.
That's amazing, Ed.
Did they have to put you through just a grueling process to get your clearance, to get top secret clearance?
No, it was a gradual situation where they would talk to me
Over time?
Yeah, it was I would say like 3 or 4 years, and then you're just going to run spies out of your office, out of your bank,
Right.
and I would, or not out of my bank,
Out of your transportation
out
company.
of my transportation company. As a matter of fact, my son Eddie was working for me, and I said, "You're going to see people's names pop up here that you're not going to know who they are."
Don't ask any questions.
That's it, and
Yeah.
the checks are going to be stamped with my signature. Just let him have it.
Did anybody at any point think you were doing something shady?
No,
No?
no
That's- yeah.
one.
Wow.
Yeah.
No one did.
What was the when they came and grabbed you in Jerusalem? Was that the scariest moment for you? When they're walking you out of the room, did you think this is it?
No.
You never did?
Actually, it didn't scare me because I thought I was doing God's work.
Is
I'm
that
I'm
right?
in Israel. I'm trying to help the Israelis
Yeah.
as much as I could, as much as I'm trying to help the Americans. It didn't even, honestly, have I been a chicken shit? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No,
that
I got it.
That was not one of those times.
Right. No, that's amazing. Now, why didn't you ever run for office? Why didn't you ever do that? All that power, all that influence. Why aren't you mayor of Baltimore?
Well, I've been asked to run for office so many times.
Yeah.
And there was one time that Governor Schaefer, who hated Paris Glendenning,
Right.
and he just hated him. 1993. Now I'm full blown in the agency, and I've got all these different companies, and I was
Right.
conflicted. So he did a poll. He commissioned a poll to see if there's a white businessman in Baltimore that's a developer and banker. And
Yeah.
obviously it was me.
Yeah.
And they did it, and it popped up that I would have won the election if I had run against Paris Glendenning as a Democrat.
Wow.
And actually,
You mean as governor?
as governor? Yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Well, you do it now. Why don't you run for governor?
People are asking me again, but they've asked me. I'm so conflicted though, Mickey.
Why?
Yeah, because listen, I have to disclose everything I'm doing.
Right.
Where do you do? You're taking a plane. You're going to Riyadh. You're going.
Yeah.
I
You're
actually,
talking about back then.
back then.
I'm
Yeah.
saying now.
Well,
Why don't you do it now?
Right now, I'm being asked. No, I'm not conflicted.
Are you going to run?
I don't know.
You're going for governor?
I'm considering it. I'm flattered that I've been asked again.
Now,
And-
who asks you? Who are you allowed to tell me that? Like, who comes and says, Ed, you're going to run? And you go, okay. Who does that?
Well, I was goose hunting with a friend of mine, Al Redmer. We're down in.
I love Al. Good man. I love
Al's
Al.
a great guy. He's
love
a
Al.
super guy.
He really is.
So we're hunting down at my farm back in November, December. I said, is there not anybody that can run that do better than what we have here right now? Because this is terrible. And I didn't really know about Westmore had just come in there, and I didn't know that much about him. And I knew that he was probably going to run for president, which I believe he's going to.
Wow.
That's my opinion. Is there anybody that the Republicans can put up to run against him? And he said, there's really no one.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and so fast forward maybe about a month and a half ago, people started asking me again, and I started considering it.
I think we need you, Ed.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
now, Ed, because you did the radio show with me before, in around 2008, was that when the bank problem really?
Oh, big time.
Yeah, for First Mariner, right?
Right.
And all those smaller banks got eaten alive by the machine.
Right.
And that's what kind of screwed you up in the banking world there, right?
It did, and I lost a lot of money. No depositor lost anything with my bank, but it was tough sledding for a while, and I got no quarter from the FDIC, the Federal Reserve. They were just miserable to deal with, and I got hit just like a ton of other people, but I survived it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, I think about how much of your worth had to be tied up in that bank, and to lose that all, basically. And I know you're a very savvy, smart man, but I mean, was it more than 50% of your net worth? I don't know how that stuff works, but
It was a large amount of money, Mickey, but I'm not sure of the exact amount because it was over from 2000. Actually, started 2006, 7, 8, 9, and that's when it started just unraveling.
yeah. And you didn't have the greatest, I would imagine. There were sharks circling you at the time too, right?
Oh yeah, and I am the perfect person for the FDIC, the Federal Reserve, to come after because I'm from the wrong side of the tracks.
Right, you're one of us.
I did not
Yeah.
come up as a teller and move through the ranks and become
Right.
chairman of a board.
Yeah.
I went right in and won a proxy fight, and I became, one day I'm Ed the trucker, next day I'm Ed the chairman of the board.
Well, I do want to say this. If you run for governor, I believe that it was announced first here on Mickey Talks episode 25. Not that you committed, Ed,
No,
but you
no.
did say.
Well, we're going to claim it either way, aren't we?
Well, yeah, of course. You know me. I'm going to be, and when he wins, I'm going to say it was
Right.
because of
Well,
me.
yeah, I want to tell you, I'm considering it, but I have to find a pathway to do it. Am I going to run against Westmore in this state and beat Westmore as a Democrat?
It's going to be right. You're not going to do that.
If I did it as a Republican,
Well, listen, West probably, and I don't like to get real political, but that Democratic Party right now, no offense, has no leader. It's lost. They have no, I think it's the wild, wild west. Any governor, any senator right now, and I believe this, especially a minority, that that can talk to the middle,
Yeah.
they got a shot right now.
Well, are any of the Democrats even happy about him?
About
now?
Westmore?
Yeah.
I don't think any of them are happy with anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, do you see a Democratic hopeful out there, Ed?
well, I don't want to. I don't want to speak about it because potentially,
Sure.
if I was
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't put you in that
run against.
spot.
There's no sense of bad mouthing a guy you're
Yeah.
maybe going to run against. I think I've never met the gentleman, but
Yeah.
he's a very impressive guy.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of friends. He's got tremendous credentials. And,
So you would only run if he stepped up to run for president, right? You don't
Well,
want to
yeah,
challenge him, do you?
I don't know if he would ever say it. I'm not going to run for governor.
Right.
Which is 2026.
Right.
2028, he would be running for the president.
Wow.
Presidency.
Yeah.
I believe right now that he is running for president. George Clooney gets on TV the other day, said the best guy around to be the president of the United States as a Democrat is Westmore from Maryland.
Clooney said that?
Clooney said it, yeah.
Wow. You know what Clooney said about me?
What'd he say?
Nothing. Son of a gun. Ed, did you,
You don't need him.
when you were first started making money, like real money, when you separated from the world, so to speak, financially, did it give you, was there a lonely period where you're just like, all your friends, guys making, back in them days, hardworking guys are making 40, 50 grand a year, doing all right. Now all of a sudden you're a multi-millionaire. How do you hang out at Pop's Tavern with your buddies knowing you can get in your helicopter and go to Monaco if you want? Like, how do you do that?
It never affected me.
Yeah, you never really, like, all your friends that were real friends were there the whole
Well, the
time.
people that come down and hunt at my farm were
Yeah.
my friends for 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
40 years.
You still got the farm down there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's your little oasis, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I love that for you, man. I mean, I never got invited or nothing, but
And you never will.
yeah, figures. I won't, because I won't hunt. I don't
don't hunt?
No, but I'll yell at all them guys shooting all the crap.
Why don't you hunt?
What's the point? I'm not going to eat it.
No?
Nah, they don't bother me. Like, we've had this conversation. I always thought, see, you think hunting's a sport, right?
I do it. Plus, if you come down and you shoot a goose, you eat that goose.
Who's got to cook it? You got a guy?
No, we all do. No, I'm the guy. Yeah, and we all do. Like Al Redmer.
Yeah.
He and his wife, his whole family, his sons, his grandsons, they all hunt and they like to fix it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go do that. I'll go eat. Like I get weird, like killing things for no reason, but I get it.
But you go to the grocery store, right?
Yeah, it's
you
already
got your
dead.
goose there.
I'm not against dead animals. I'm against being the reason they're dead.
Oh.
That's all it
You
is.
just don't want. You would be separated from that.
Yeah, I don't see it as a sport. Any other sport, Ed. Both teams know they're in the game. You know what I mean? That's all. And I dig it. And I know you're awesome at it, right? And is that all you hunt? Is geese?
Ducks and geese.
Yeah.
That's it.
You're not out
And-
there shooting lions
No,
and crap in Africa.
No.
Okay. I hate birds anyway.
Well,
Kill all of them.
trophy hunting, I'm not about that at all.
Yeah.
But hunting a goose or a turkey or something that you would eat, or a deer,
Amazing.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite things about you is your Arctic Circle trip that you take.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever been like just literally by yourself up there? Like just on a boat, you're nobody, you're at the top of the world. Have you ever
No,
done that?
I'm with a Cree Indian guide on a boat. Wow. And you fly out to a remote lake. And so we go out to the most that crazy as it got is I've been out there and the boat lost its motor. And so,
In the Arctic
In
Circle.
the Arctic Circle.
Yeah, so anyway, we have satellite phones. When I first started going there were no satellite phones. So we did a satellite call, but then the plane had to come and find us because there wasn't GPS. There was no GPS and none of that.
Wow.
And it had to find us, and there's 1 million lakes up there, and at least 1 million lakes.
That's
So-
incredible.
So they had to come and find us, Another time I ran hooks through my hand and had to push the barbs through and take them out. And that was kind of ugly.
What are you fishing? What are you catching up? Is it pike? Is it salmon?
Pike, lake trout, Arctic grayling.
Wow.
But we catch. There are three people on a boat,
Yeah.
and you catch 3 fish. That's what you eat. But we'll catch 100 fish, and we
Catch and release.
We catch and release, but when we release them, they're so big.
Yeah.
The fight is so strong that they get in shock. So you put them in the water.
You got to
and
move them. Yeah.
to get them to go, and we do that.
That's amazing, man.
Isn't that where they film what's the fishing show where or is that Alaska?
I couldn't tell you.
The crazy fishing show where guys can be knocked overboard. The seas are nuts.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You ever seen a polar bear up there?
No, we've seen a lot of other bears.
Never a polar bear, though, huh?
No, there's one lake we go to that has polar bears. And, you're on a boat, and
Yeah.
the boat can outrun a polar bear, can
Right.
outswim it.
Yeah, just about. Yeah. Ed, when you look back on everything, I know the Blast. I want to get into that now. The Baltimore Blast. What year did you buy them?
1988.
Did you win your first year?
No.
You went.
We were the whipping boy for San Diego 3 years in a row. You remember
Yeah,
that time?
yeah, of course.
San Diego used to beat us every year, and
Yeah.
it makes Ron Fowler, who owned it, he still loves. He's one of the best things in my life is beating Ed Hale.
Does he still own San Diego's team?
No, he sold it.
Now, Ed,
I think he owns most of the Padres now.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
And you never really, I mean, in the day, you could have probably joined in ownership of the Orioles or the Ravens. I'm sure you were offered that situation, right?
I was listed as one of the people if there was going to be an expansion team when Tagliabue was there.
Really?
I was one of the people I was interviewed as one of the potential people to be the owner of the franchise.
Of the Ravens.
No, not the Ravens.
Oh, the
They're-
Baltimore
the
franchise.
Baltimore
I see.
Colts leave,
Right.
And there's a blank spot.
Yeah.
And then they put it out there's going to be 2 expansion teams. They ended up going to St. Louis and Jacksonville.
Right.
And excluded Baltimore, which was a major insult.
Yeah.
Tagliabue says, just why don't you build another concert center? I don't know if you remember that.
No, I don't. Yeah.
He was a
He's a real piece of work,
he
wasn't
was
he?
a dickhead.
Who's the worst governor you think the state ever had? Like, is there anybody you look back on and go, that guy shouldn't even have been elected? Like, drove you nuts or just couldn't stand him?
Not anybody that I really disliked that much.
Right.
Really.
Did most of those guys treat you well because of your power and money and?
Well, because I'm an employer of people, they were always pretty deferential to me.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, Schaefer was fantastic.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough to equal him and his energy and his enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And the other person that was really good in politics, Barbara Mikulski.
I loved her, man.
Yeah.
I didn't agree with her a lot, you know what I mean? Like, some of the stuff was a little, but I just loved the fact she was a East Baltimore girl, right?
Yeah, well, let me tell you something. We had the GM plant was making SUVs.
Yeah.
And they were supposedly big gas hogs. And so they were trying to get them shut down.
Wow.
And she went to Congress and told the congressman, don't you do this to my people on Broning Highway.
Really?
Oh, yeah, that's a true story.
Wow. That's incredible. I mean, that's the stuff, you know, guys at your level know all those details. The average guy, you know, we don't know. Hey, old Barb got saved a plant. That's all they know. They don't know how they did it. And
right, and she never took credit for it.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't literally politically correct.
Right.
With the Democrats because they were anti-gasoline cars.
right. And I don't even, did she pass away?
No,
She's still alive? How old is she?
I'm guessing close to 90, 85 to 90.
Do you ever speak with her, or does she
She
get out
called
much?
me when my mother died. And
Wow.
that was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Last time I spoke to her. And I'm a major fan of hers.
I always loved her. I did. I've always been a fan of Barbara Mikulski. I want to tell you something. You mentioned your mom passing, and I loved, and I mean this, and one of the things I respect about you the most was your relationship with your mother. And your mother did one of the kindest things for me out of nowhere. We were at an event together. I think it was in your building. You had a fundraiser, and I was there, and she came up to me and she said, I saw the Baltimore magazine where my mother had lost her legs and hands.
Right.
And your mother went out of her way to tell me that she loved that. And when my mother passed away, your mom wrote me an email.
Right.
Just
Wow.
the sweetest lady.
Yep.
And she was so proud of you, man.
Oh, yeah, she was.
Yeah.
She when my father died, I had all the dignitaries there.
Sure.
senators,
Yeah.
congressmen, everybody. You know who she loved the most?
Who's that?
The garbage men that showed up. They were the black guys that she would give breakfast to when they would do their rounds every single time.
Wow.
They called her up and they said, "Do you mind, Miss Hale, if we come, we'll
Wow.
park the truck behind the
Yeah.
church?" And she said, "Absolutely." That's who she.
Yeah, no,
she
that's
favored
what
the
I
most.
loved about your mom. I
Yeah.
mean, she was the real deal, man.
Yeah.
And you could have made a gazillion dollars. You'd have still been Eddie, the love of her life,
yeah.
and it didn't matter to her that she
Well,
was just proud of it.
She calls me up on the become the chairman of the Bank of Baltimore. It was September 11th, 1991, not
Wow.
2001. So
Right.
I'm at the Bank of Baltimore building, looking out at Bethlehem Steel, where I used to work when I was a kid.
Right.
And I'm looking out there, and the phone rings. This is my mother. She says, Eddie, are you really the chairman of the board of the Bank of Baltimore? I said, yeah. She said, I can't believe it. I said, it's in the Sun paper. You just read it. And,
Yeah.
And it was covered for 6 months. She said, my God, what's it like? I said, Ma, I got all these new friends now.
You were not treated well though by the
No.
old guard, were you?
No.
Was that? I don't know how to word it right. Are we talking the 80s when you really started making moves? Was it in the 80s?
Late 70s, 80s.
Okay.
I started acquiring land, and I did different things.
Right. And the old established money in the city just looked at you like you were like a peasant.
They turned me down for loans at the Bank of Baltimore. They said that, I'm from the wrong side of the tracks. I'm in a grimy business. So they turned me down. That motivated me to attack them, and I did.
And you won.
And I won.
And then they came and kissed ass, didn't they?
No.
No?
I win in 1991. Early 92, I get summoned to New York by all the bank analysts.
Yeah.
All the cream de gumbo of all the bank
Sure.
analysts and big investment companies. And I go up there, and I'm in this amphitheater, and I'm speaking, and a guy in the back of the room, a guy named Harry Keefe Briette, huge, he was the king of all the bank analysts.
Right.
He says, Mr. Hale, this is at the end of the meeting, he said, Mr. Hale, how, since you have obviously angered all the landed gentry of Baltimore,
Yeah.
all the blue bloods,
Sure.
how are you going to put money on the top line? I said, and I had to make an instantaneous decision.
Yeah.
I said, here's what I'm going to do. The Jewish community, I'm very large on that. I lived in the Jewish community for 12 years, and they treated me very well. I appreciate them. They do more business in 2 weeks. They do more in charities in 2 weeks and arts in 2 weeks than all those blue bloods do all year long. That's who's going to be my target market.
Wow.
So I said that. I got on the train, and I'm coming home. Well, it was like 5 o'clock, and a guy named Dave Spillman calls me up, and he says, Ed, what did you say?
Uh-oh.
I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought, this is going to be bad. He said our stock went up $34 million right there in that half-hour period because Harry Keefe asked the question, he started buying the stock, and they all followed suit.
Is that right?
It's a true story. Yep, that's a real secret.
Now, I don't know this. Was Harry Keefe Jewish?
I think he was Irish,
No kidding. So, wow.
but
And
I'm not sure.
now, did the Jewish community in Baltimore play nice with you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The Jewish community did, and I had the preponderance of the people on my board were Jewish.
Good
And-
for you,
and,
Ed.
Yeah, and I did because I knew who my friends were. I knew they
Sure.
were my friends, and
Yeah.
they would always look down their nose at me.
Yeah.
And I just did not like it, and I felt that, and I very strongly
Yeah.
resented it.
Now, I know how proud you are of your children and your grandchildren, and I'm going to leave that out of it. Other than your family stuff, what are you, Ed Hale, most proud of as an accomplishment? Is it the success of the Blast? Was it First Mariner at its highest? Was it Ed Transportation, Hale Transportation? Was it Canton Development? What's the thing when you look back as Ed Hale and go, I did it?
It's really a bunch of things. You named a bunch of them. Taking over the Bank of Baltimore has never happened before
Yeah.
since in a hostile takeover. There's never been somebody didn't have any stock, took over a company that had been around since 1818.
Think about that.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
1818.
Right, and I don't have a college degree.
Right.
Uh,
Me
I have-
either, Ed. Look at me.
Yeah, look at us.
Look at us. I
Here we
started this
are.
show 3 times today.
And we're in East Point too, man.
And we're at East Point. Exactly. Yeah.
Which is where I used to work.
I know you told me. It's
Yeah.
crazy how it all comes together,
Yeah,
man.
So, anyway, there's just a whole bunch of things they're very proud of. But the thing I like the most is I always consider myself to be unpretentious.
Yeah, you're not. I mean,
Yeah.
I worked for you. I have been around you. You have treated me like a friend. You've taken me to lunch, dinner. I've been in meetings. I've had every exposure to you. Now, granted, I've never done $1 million deal with you, but I've been in your presence in many situations. The thing I love about you know exactly what you're going. You're the same. Whether you're obviously you're a little more fun when it's not business. If we're just sitting in a diner, you're hilarious, all that. But in the Blast meeting, I mean, you listen to people, you respect other people's talents. Like I'm very impressed with you, Ed, in that way, because I've been around other successful people and they look down their nose at you. If and it's all about numbers to them. If you're not wealthy, you're not worthy.
Well, they don't like the fact that you're from Highlandtown. Your family's from Highlandtown.
Well, I'm from Hamilton, but the same thing. Yeah.
It's just a little farther north.
Yeah, listen, northeast Baltimore. Yeah.
So people look down on you. Me, when I worked at Bethlehem Steel, I worked at the number 4 mold yard, which
Right.
is attached to the open hearth.
Yeah.
So I was one of I probably two white guys in this group of black guys.
Yeah.
And so I'm in there. Every one of those guys treated me very well.
It's amazing.
Never forgot that.
Yeah.
And they all said, "What is with you bringing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to the mill here?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a terrible job.
Right.
It's ugly, and you got nothing to look forward to if you eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Go get a thermos, bring soup in."
Right. Yeah, exactly. They taught you the ways, right?
And they said, "You need to come to our neighborhood
Yeah.
on Saturday night because you never had a good time till you've been with us."
Right. And did you do it?
Yes.
Was it a blast?
It was exactly what they said.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
I wasn't feeling too good the next day, but
You know, Ed, I think when people, especially, and I don't want to ask a direct question, but one time, I mean, did you have $100 million? I mean, were you that wealthy? Did you have more? Is that a fair number to say?
I don't know what it was. I didn't really tabulate it, and because none of it was really, really liquid.
Right. It was all stock
It
and
was-
all that
yeah,
stuff.
I was constantly investing.
How
all the
did that
time.
all pay off in the long run, your investments?
Well, I'm not nearly as worth as much as what I was during the bank time.
Sure.
My trucking. I sold the trucking company and my barge and tugboat and shipping company because of the conflicts that it would have me running a public company.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, well,
you had to get all out of all that
Yeah, I
before
did.
the bank?
Yes. No. While I was in, it was frowned upon.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because where are your allegiances? Are
Right.
you working hard for the shareholders at First Mariner Bank
Or your
bank-
transportation,
yeah,
right.
So people didn't like the fact that I had the blast, but the blast, the total budget for the blast is
Yeah.
less than $5 million, so that's not a big deal. These other so these other properties I had were 50. More. There was a lot of money.
How much of the Canton development was you? I mean, down by the water, a lot of it, right? Most of it?
Well, the Kent Waterfront Park, I bought that.
Yeah.
Here's a story that I've told in the book, if you're going to read it.
Hailstorm is
sure.
the name
Yeah,
of the book,
Hailstorm,
right?
yeah. So I am, I buy a piece of land, which is the Canton Waterfront Park today. It was
Yeah.
a junkyard.
Right.
And I bought it. It was a dump, and they were rat infested, so I buy it. I was there for 2 years, and Mayor Schaefer sends a guy down named Mark Wasserman to meet me.
Right.
Mark Wasserman is in Japan right now with his wife.
Okay.
Just on
Yeah.
vacation.
Yeah.
So we have been friends since 1977. When he comes over, he's a skinny little guy, and he was the right-hand man to Schaefer,
Right.
right up until he died.
Wow.
Comes over and he says, Mayor Schaefer wants to buy your land. I said, I just bought it. I have a I got a VA mortgage.
Yeah.
And I have a $250,000 mortgage on this property, and I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going to go. He said, well, he's not going to be too happy with you. You're going to have to come and see him. So I get the one suit that I had. I put a suit on. I go to City Hall. I kid you not. He's sitting on this. They have the ceremonial room.
Yeah.
Like a big throne room.
Up closer to the mic.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Okay.
That's
Sorry
okay.
about that.
So he's
So,
sitting on his throne.
He's sitting, and I walk in. I'm very intimidated. I'm nervous,
Sure.
sweaty palms, the whole works. So I walk in, and he says, "I understand you're playing hardball, boy." I said, well, Your Majesty.
Did you really? You said that?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I
that's
mean, I was all flustered.
Your Majesty.
I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I said, I'm going to make something of myself one day, and I'm going to go and find another property and see if I can do it. He said, what we're going to do is we're going to do an appraisal of your property. We'll send the appraisers down, and we'll buy it. What I had for a $250,000 mortgage, I sold that property to him, to the city, which is now the park,
Yeah.
for $2.3 million.
That's what it was appraised at?
Yeah. I said, that's it. Sounds good to me, and I did it.
Yes.
Wow, yeah.
And at that moment, you made something of yourself, didn't you?
Oh yeah, immediately.
Were you a wealthy guy at that point?
I was not doing badly.
You were doing good at that point.
I
Yeah.
saved money. I bought properties.
Yeah.
Increased the size of my homes and things
Right.
like this.
Right.
Did some additional things, but that was what I did was I went down to New Orleans and bought barges, and invented a barge service.
Really?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, let me ask you this. In 2025, you're 20, let's say you're 25. You have your business acumen that you do now.
Oh my God.
What would be the business if you said, all right, I got, I don't have much, but I got some money I'm going to put out and build something. Where would you go now?
I would probably do more real estate. I did like the trucking business. I liked the people that I met. We were all over the country. I was Jacksonville, Florida, to Boston,
Right.
out to Cleveland.
Wow.
And so I had 13 locations, and I liked it. I was in Savannah, Georgia, built a warehouse and a truck terminal.
Wow.
And it was fun doing that. And so I could do both, have trucks running, and also do the real estate. So
Yeah.
it all worked together somehow.
But was real estate your favorite thing? Did you
Yeah.
like the bank shit? Like, did you even like it?
Actually, I did.
What is the like? I mean, you're just number crunching all day, aren't you?
You make people's dreams.
I get it.
You make people's, like, you come to me, if you're painting business when you were doing that
Yeah.
a few years ago.
Sure.
And you needed a accounts receivable loan to take care
Sure.
of people that are not paying you.
Right.
I would loan you the money. But at the same time, you make enemies if you turn people down.
Right.
They hate your guts forever.
Yeah, I get that.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I do get that. And I will say, Ed, you are a gracious man to people who you like and that you believe are loyal to you. I know that for a fact about you.
Mm-hmm.
And you are a very quiet, benevolent man. And I have a lot of respect for that, Ed.
Well,
so I
thank
wanted
you.
to say that on this show. And if you do run for governor, I promise I won't endorse you so that they don't hold it against you. But you will get my vote, my friend. I that's my favorite thing you've said all day. The thought of you running for, I think that'd be the coolest thing. I mean, I do. And I don't even dislike Wes Moore. Like, I met him. He was a nice man, really smart.
Everybody likes him, and they think
I
that
think
he
his
could be the president.
politics suck, a lot of it, but that's just, I mean, that's the game, you know what I
But
mean?
look at who he's going to run against. Pete Buttigieg, the guy in California. I mean, all these people that are...
I got to tell you this, and I've been staying away from politics on this show on purpose, but I have to say one thing about Gavin Newsom, and it's more of a joke. I don't want him to run for president. I want him to be like the new Hollywood A-list actor. Like, that's what he reminds.
Oh,
he's a good look in the hair. Now he's got his podcast with his shirt open. The thing I don't like about him is just like overnight when California caught on fire and Trump showed up and just basically told them all they're pieces of crap. The next day he woke up and was like, yeah, we got to get this together. We got to figure something out.
Right.
I don't know. That's the thing, but you're not that kind of guy.
No.
If you say I'm going to do this, just etch it in stone because you're going to do it.
Yeah, and here's another thing. If I'm not into it for the trappings of the office of being a governor, it's a
Right.
pretty powerful position.
Sure.
You have to deal with the legislature, but I don't want to live in the governor's mansion. I don't want to
Yeah,
have
why
all
would
that
you
stuff.
take a step down? Who the hell wants to do that, right?
No, it's a great building. I wouldn't want to have all that and don't care about going in parades and
Yeah.
shopping center openings and things like that. I would like to do the business
Of the people.
bringing people to Maryland.
Well, I've said this 1,000 times. It's a wonderful city to do business in. I mean, you have so many. You have water transportation. You have great highways. You have 95. I mean, it's a wonderful place to do business. I just think we've told business people we're not interested for so long. I hope because it's a pretty city too.
Yeah, let me tell you something else. With this Doge going on, with all the people
Yeah.
getting X'd out of the government,
yeah,
I wonder how many real estate agents are getting calls from people in Montgomery and PG County. Yeah, they're getting out of here because they're not going to have jobs. So who's going to be paying the taxes? We have to get people to come in here to get jobs to make it a friendly place. For example, like you have the Secretary of Economic Development.
Right.
That person would be going out and he would be like the concierge for the state of Maryland. What could we do?
There's my job, Ed. I'm the best bullshitter in the state. I can talk anybody into anything. Is that what they do? They go out basically and hustle companies to come here and set up?
That's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Really, they should do that. And I think it's lacking. I don't even know who the Secretary of Economic Development is.
You say for the state?
For the state.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know who it is.
Derek, look that up. Secretary of what? Economic Development, Maryland. I don't even know. Now, you used to, am I wrong, or were you the president of the tourism for Baltimore City, right?
7 years.
Yeah, what a cool...
Stephanie Rawlings Blake, your friend, fired me.
I love her. I love her. I know
fired me.
Do you like her or not friends?
No, I don't like her.
I like her just to hang out with her. I never had to do business. I get it. I do. She was always cool with me. I liked her from a radio standpoint as a guest. I get it. I get it. Fair enough. She removed you from that job?
Oh yeah, I was at the ICSC commercial the convention. Down in Vegas at the pool at the Wynn, where all the developers and people go to make deals. And she says, "I need to speak to you." I said, "You want to speak to me about you kicking me off the board?"
Yeah.
Or something else.
Yeah.
I forgot. She said, "I'm kicking you off the board." I thought, okay.
And that was it.
She said that in front of a bunch of people too. I thought it was.
Oh,
that was
I didn't know
Bush
that.
League move.
I'm not gonna marry her now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna date her just because of that, Ed. I will not date Stephanie Rawlings Blake now. I'll say it in the camera.
Are you not taken yet?
Am I? Oh, I'm taking it. I'm taking. There's like 3 mental hospitals that have rights to me. Yeah, no. Listen. This is my philosophy.
I saw one of your favorite lines that you said in the press. How do you get such a pretty wife?
Oh, that was my ex-wife.
Yeah. He says she has no self-esteem.
Somebody asked me, "How'd you get such a beautiful wife?" I said, "She had no self-esteem." You know who else loved that line? Ron Smith. Ron Smith loved that line.
It was hilarious.
Hey, have you found, since you do what you do and how you've done it over the years and having tons of money still a very wealthy man, is there a point where you've realized now that, like, the money really isn't the thing? It's kind of just how you keep score. Do you still do it for the money, or is it the win?
It really, everybody's going to say, "Oh, that's a lot of crap."
Right.
It was never about the money. It was about just playing the game.
Competing, right?
And
winning.
Competing, and I'm an enthusiastic person. Even at my age,
Yeah.
I'm enthusiastic. And I like to think of things. I like to have people around me that think of things.
Right.
I have a meeting tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you'll like this.
Yeah.
There's a group of ladies that are soccer moms in Edgemere, Sparrows Point, White Marsh, Bel Air.
Yeah, got it.
So some of them are going to come over tomorrow morning, and they started something called Soccer Mom Society.
The Soccer Mom Society.
Yes, and they all have 2 or 3 kids. They're between 35 and 50.
Right.
And they have kids, and they're really into raising their kids, much like your father did with you with soccer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, but that was my uncle's. My father hated soccer. My father was a football guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but my mother's side of the family, that was all soccer. But I know exactly what you mean.
Well, that's who they are now. And right now, these ladies some of them are going to be coming over tomorrow morning. We're going to talk about this. And I like the idea of trying to coalesce all of them.
Yeah.
And have these different chapters in different cities to come to our games.
I love it. Well, Ed, there's a little bit we do on our show called That's the Facts, Matt. And we're going to get to that right now. Brought to us.
You didn't tell me this.
No, this is fun. It's basically just like crazy news. Okay. And then we just discuss it. Brought to us by Barnes Paving, barnespaving.com, BARNES paving.com. Give them a call, 443-243-3710. Any paving need, they can do it. They're amazing. It is now time for That's the Facts, Matt. What do we got, Matt?
Well,
Ed, just chime in when we do it.
Yeah, we know that Pope Francis will be getting buried this Saturday. And we talked yesterday about his former profession before he became the Pope, that he was actually a bouncer in his home country.
Did you hear that?
Before he did
No.
that?
Yeah, he was a doorman in Buenos Aires. Yeah.
Yeah. So it might not be his most talked about accomplishment, but Pope Francis is the only pontiff also to be on the cover of Rolling Stone. In the February 13th, 2014 edition of Rolling Stone, it featured a picture of Pope Francis with his famous grin and wave, and written on the bottom corner was, Pope Francis, the times they are a-changin'. And his Rolling Stone cover appearance came just a couple of months after he was on the cover of Time as its 2013 Person of the Year. He died Monday morning at the age of 88, and there will be all kinds of world leaders in attendance, of course, for his funeral coming on.
Ed, I know you're Irish. Were you raised Catholic or are you Protestant?
Protestant.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
However, I had a great-grandfather killed himself. They wouldn't bury him, so my great-grandmother took him over to St. John's Lutheran Church on Eastern Avenue across from Bayview.
Yeah.
And we became Protestants then.
Is that right? Because the Catholics wouldn't bury him because he committed suicide.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I was raised Catholic. You know, I did. I went to all the Catholic schools and all. I like this Pope. I thought, as far as popes go, I liked him. I mean, yeah, I did. You liked him?
Yes, I
Yeah.
did.
One of the most progressive popes, for sure.
I thought he was like more of a man of the people than
That's what
the
I
other
thought.
ones.
Yeah.
Less ceremony and more substance.
I like John Paul II because I got to see him close at the stadium. And, you know, it's like, it's the Pope. You know what I mean? Did you ever meet a Pope?
Nope.
Nah, that's interesting. Who's the most famous person you ever stood with?
Trump.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, besides him, I mean,
Yeah, all kinds of senators, vice presidents.
wow, that's
Yeah.
great.
A
Yeah.
lot of baseball players, football players.
Yeah.
I did a commercial with Cal Ripken.
I remember that, yeah.
SK commercial.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
Cal's a great guy.
Yeah, he is a nice guy. Cal's super nice guy. I want to do a commercial with the next Pope. That's what I want to do. I want to do a commercial.
Aren't you running for the next Pope?
Yeah, you don't think, I'm going to run for Pope, Ed. You run for governor. I'm going to run for Pope. I'll endorse you. What else we got, buddy?
So YouTube's very first video turns 20 today. It was on April 23rd, 2005, that YouTube co-founder Jawed Karim uploaded a grainy 19-second video titled Me at the Zoo to his brand new digital platform. It showed him in front of the elephant exhibit at the San Diego Zoo. It's got more than 355 million views right now.
What year?
And that was in 2005. And then they went on to sell it to Google for $1.65 billion
Now,
the following year.
You know, my daughter has one of the most viral clips in the history of anything, right?
I'm
She's got
vaguely
like
remembering this
half
story
a
now.
billion views.
Wow.
And it's been separate. Do you remember the
She was on Ellen or something,
She
right?
did a video where she was going to kick a monster's ass.
Right.
And did you ever see that video, Ed? She's
No.
3 years old. I'll show you after the show. It's adorable. But this was before you could like monetize a video on YouTube. And the thing
That's
just
too bad.
Yeah, I know. And the thing just took off. She ended up on Ellen, ridiculousness. Like she's been on 30 TV shows.
And that was all from a YouTube video that
Yeah,
you guys
just
put
a
up?
3 minute,
Yeah.
a 2 minute. I swear to God.
Who filmed it?
My ex-wife, her mother filmed it while I was at work. It was the funniest thing I'd ever seen in my life, and I just stuck it on my YouTube page. Next thing you know, it took off like wildfire, and it was awesome. It
That's
was
incredible.
it was wild as hell.
Yeah.
I'll show you the video. You may have even seen it. Have you seen it?
I saw it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see
Yeah.
it again, though. Did you know that it was originally supposed to be a dating site, YouTube? They spent, at his University of Illinois commencement speech back in 2007, one of the founders said, we didn't even know how to describe our new product. To generate interest, we just said it was a new kind of dating site.
Right.
We even had a slogan for it, tune in and hook up. And apparently no one did. They put out ads on Craigslist in Las Vegas, and they tried to pay women $20 to upload videos of themselves to the site. Didn't happen, and then they finally figured people were putting up, videos of their dogs and
they just let it
vacations
go.
and kids, and they let it become its own thing. Yeah.
Ed, let me ask you this. How many times were you married? I mean, I know one.
Twice.
Do you still have the most expensive divorce in the history of Maryland?
Yes.
Dude, that's a true thing,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
That's the
Ouchie.
one accomplishment.
Can we move on to
Yeah, we
something else?
can. But I want to ask you this: Are you dating? You got a
Wait, here,
girlfriend?
my assistant is getting married on Saturday.
Okay.
And I said, respectfully, I will not come because I'm such bad luck on marriages. There's certain things I could do well.
Right.
That ain't one of them.
How about the ladies in here? You got any ladies? Nothing.
Nothing.
The hell's going on, Ed? Everything all right?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, you were no slouch in your day. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, whatever. Mr. Governor. But I'm glad, Ed, because I just want you to be happy. You know what I mean? You're a good dude. I like you.
I'm good to go. Fine with who
Life.
I have as friends.
Good for you.
You know, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
I'm real happy with my family. You know, I've got 3 grandsons that are fantastic, and I've got several granddaughters up in Philadelphia. Fantastic little kids.
Yeah.
A lot of twins in my family.
Now, is that from your side? Like,
Yes.
really? You didn't have you're not a twin, are you?
No, I had twin sisters. One of them died about 20 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
But my son's got twins, and my daughter's got twins.
Which Ashley, right?
Alex.
Alex. I'm sorry. Now, who was the daughter that used to come to the game? The blonde come to the games. She had little baby. It's 5-6 years ago. Who was that? Married, really good guy. Which
Dan.
Yeah.
That's Ashley.
Yeah, Ashley. How's that? Everybody good there?
We've been better.
Got it, buddy. We all got it, man. Yeah, I hear you, pal. But I know you're very proud of your grandkids. I mean, you talk.
Yeah.
Your one's killing it, right? I mean, you got one grandkid.
No, I have 3 of them. All 4 students. They're 21 and 20. The twins.
Yeah.
One's in the Naval Academy. One is at
The Naval Academy.
yeah. Everybody.
I
said
couldn't get mine in the Salvation Army.
Well, everybody said they must be adopted.
Right. That's so true. What else we got, Matt?
Well, there is a Florida bill that would allow you to shoot down intrusive drones out of the sky. So a new bill before the Florida Senate, if passed, would make it open season on intrusive drones.
This is Florida.
It's Florida, of
By
course.
the way,
Yeah.
in Florida, you don't need that law. They'll just do it if they feel like it. You like Florida, Ed? Have you ever been
No,
down?
I go there, but I can't stand the heat.
Yeah,
way
it's
too
brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, so the goal of the bill would be to expand the Sunshine State's overall restrictions on unmanned aircraft systems. That expansion would include giving property owners the right to use reasonable force to stop drones. Reasonable in Florida in the same sentence, right?
Yeah.
With the reasonable expectation of privacy. So from there, the definition of reasonable force is open to interpretation. And since we're talking Florida, of course, that math isn't too hard to figure out.
Yeah, that somebody's going to be shooting grenade launchers at it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Ed, I remember your helicopter. When did you got rid of that when all that stuff went down, right? You got
the neighbors, my neighbors down there didn't like the fact that I landed my helicopter there. I would fly from.
Wait, your neighbors at Eastern Shore or your
Eastern
neighbors?
Shore.
Okay,
No.
Gotcha.
So it would take me 12 minutes to fly from my place, from the bank, down to my farm.
Right.
So it was convenient.
Sure.
I would fly up to New York. It was 55 minutes.
Wow.
And land right in Manhattan.
Now, did you own that helicopter or lease
Yeah,
it?
No, I owned it.
You owned it. Wow. Was that? I don't know, but is that like ridiculous to maintain and fuel and all that?
It's crazy.
It is, right?
It's also dangerous too.
Is it really?
Yeah. If you were going to rent, or not rent, if you're going to buy an airplane,
Yeah.
insurance is like 10% of what it would cost for a helicopter.
No
of all
kidding.
the different parts and things. Yeah.
Did you like it? I mean, what did you like riding in a helicopter?
Oh God.
Did you ever fly it?
No.
Never did?
No, I'm too crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I'm too crazy. My attention span's not good enough.
But you literally could go from the First Mariner building right there in Canton to the Eastern Shore to your
To
farm
my front yard.
in
Wow.
12 minutes.
Wow. Is that
So you
right?
could like hang up the phone and be like, dinner's ready. All right, get in your helicopter and go home and eat.
I'll be right there. You know, you say right there. I meant right there.
Can you imagine that? That's got to be
And
cool.
there was no rush hour traffic for you ever, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
No, one of the best things you could do is, I'll tell you another story about the Bay Bridge. You look down at the Bay Bridge and you see it backed up for 14 miles.
Yeah.
Right.
On a Sunday.
right over top
And,
of it.
and I'll tell you something else which people cringe when I say this.
Yeah.
Cringe.
Okay.
And I've never said this out loud.
All
in
right,
public.
good. Get on that mic so we hear it
Okay,
good. Yeah.
So I had this guy, he died. Emery Wheat was my pilot on my jet.
Okay.
Emery was one of the coolest guys of all time. Great guy. Terrific pilot. We're flying back from Savannah, Georgia. It's just me and him.
In the helicopter.
No, in the jet.
Oh, I'm sorry, in the jet.
He says, leans back. He says, "Boss, want to pay the toll on the bridge today?" I said, "Nah." So we would fly under.
Under the bridge. Are you serious?
Serious as swear, I swear.
That's not legal, right?
No.
That's pretty sketchy too, right? I mean,
You are a little, but I think in business, you're not like a crazy risk taker, are you? Like, you don't have a death wish, do
No,
you?
No, I don't have a death wish, but I'd like to take a calculated risk. And
You like adrenaline rushes and things like that.
have
Yeah,
you
I
jumped
do.
out of the jet? You jumped out of the plane?
no,
No?
I have been literally in 3 plane crashes.
Oh,
And one with my 2 daughters and my girlfriend.
jeez.
Really? Where was that, in Maryland?
Yep,
Oh my God, that's got to be the scariest thing in the world, right?
it was.
Was it at landing, or were there problems in the sky and you guys had to think about it?
It was catastrophic, and this is when I was in the agency, so the
Yeah.
FBI came and investigated it. It was catastrophic engine failure on the first one. The second one was pilot error. It was not Emery, the other
Right.
guy. It was another guy, and in front of my farm, the plane, we landed, it was amphibious, and landed on the water, tipped over, broke the wing off, banged my head around, and it sunk.
Were you alone in that one?
No, I was, I was just
No,
me.
no family or anything. Wow.
Yeah, and another time was in the city in the harbor on January 1st. The airplane knocked me into the harbor, and it was on January 1st, and I almost drowned.
Oh my God, that is crazy. I mean, was there ever a time when you were like, I am not flying again. I'm going to drive?
Now, actually, on the one where I crashed at my farm, it was 3 weeks later. I was up in the north flying on small planes. For some reason, I
Yeah, just do it.
just yeah.
I hate flying. I mean, I hate
I know
it.
you do.
Oh, it's the worst.
I mean, being in the harbor just alone would be horrifying for me.
Can't
but
believe
to
he still
crash
has
a plane
skin.
into the harbor?
yeah, that's nuts. Who was flying that one? Was that an amphibious landing?
It was an amphibious air landing. He was nervous because the sun was going down. You can't take off when
Right.
it's dark.
Right.
So he was in a hurry, knocked me overboard. Actually, I
Sheesh.
turned around, the rear wing hit me in the chest and drove me into the harbor 35 yards.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so anyway, I swam back to shore.
Luck of the Irish, my friend.
Oh,
Luck
yeah,
of the
oh, yeah.
Irish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
So I don't know how your Easter was, but it wasn't so great for this 84-year-old man who fell off a crucifix during an Easter reenactment.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
You gotta get better nails.
He was critically, using the wrong nails.
Yeah.
He was critically injured during a crucifixion reenactment in Weston, West Virginia on Good Friday. The event, organized by Vandalia Community Christian Church, took place at the Masonic Cemetery. And while assisting with the reenactment, the man fell approximately 10 feet from a replica cross. He was airlifted to a hospital and admitted to the ICU with broken ribs.
I mean, it's just insanity.
Well, the
Yeah.
Filipinos will
They-
nail.
they nail 'em.
They nailed to the cross.
I was going to say that.
So-
That's even more nuts.
So I watched an entire documentary on the Filipino thing, and it is a tremendous honor to do that. But they literally nail it. They get nailed to a cross.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
crazy. I mean, I'll reenact the resurrection. That's what I'll reenact.
No, I'll reenact the part where you just like made water into wine. Like
Right.
I'm good with that. You know what I mean?
Who let Paw climb up on the cross at 84, though? I mean, I wouldn't do that now.
No way.
Right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's insane. Let's do one or two more here, Matt, and let Mr. Ed get out of here. I'm sure he's got something to do.
All right. Well, sticking with
I'm actually
airplanes
getting
here.
hungry.
Yeah, me too.
Sticking with the airplanes here, there was an imaginary snakes on a plane. An EasyJet flight from England to Morocco was forced to make an emergency landing in Portugal when a passenger freaked out and believed there were snakes on the plane. The airline says the man was wearing a shirt with a snake pattern, and he appeared to be hallucinating. At one point, he repeatedly shouted, "Snakes on a plane! We need to land!" His behavior made everyone on the plane nervous, including the pilot, who made the decision to divert to Portugal. And once safely on the ground, authorities came on and removed the passenger from the plane.
Yeah.
And the flight did eventually take off again and arrived in Morocco with no further incidents.
You know, Ed, one of my favorite things, this just made me think about something about you. I know you flew a tremendous amount privately, but one time you went to the airport, you forgot to take your gun off. Isn't that a true story? And it was on the news and everything, right?
Yeah, for 2 weeks.
Yeah, they like acted like you were some terrorist. You had a gun. I mean, obviously, right?
I'd have the permit to carry.
And you just left it on yourself and walked in.
Yes.
And that's all it simply was, right? And that, can you imagine? Like, it's like, do you have any liquids? Nah, but damn it, I forgot my Glock. I got my Glock. Was that, like, did they give you a lot of crap, or was it kind of like?
Actually, I won't tell you how I got out of it,
Yeah.
but, they put me in the holding cell downstairs.
They really did?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Did they know who you were?
Yeah, they know.
That's, to me, that, I don't
Just
know.
protocol, I guess. Right?
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Follow orders.
I just don't think a guy worth that kind of money in that time is going to go on a plane and go, oh, bye, this is a stick up.
By the way, Krongard, who had been the head of the CIA, all operations.
Yeah.
Same thing happened to him.
Seriously.
Seriously, yep.
That's insane. We got anything else, Matt?
We can do one more just regarding a kid's science project, if you want to talk about that. Did you ever do a science project for, like, science fair or anything like that when you were a kid?
So I built... Yes, I did, and it was awesome.
This ought to be good.
No, here. Do you guys remember, like, do you guys know what boxcar derbies are?
Yeah.
Like, you built them little wooden cars on the track?
I did that in the Cub Scouts.
Yeah, well, we did it at St. Francis. Like, they would have it at St. Francis,
Right.
the Cub Scouts, right? And I, when you were altar boy, like, Father Burke would make us come down and help set up chairs and all that. And so I saw that. I'm like, oh, man, I want to build one of them. So for a science project, they said, build something. And I built one of these cars. And but I didn't build it to scale. It was like 4 feet long and like 2 feet wide.
So you built a go-kart.
I built basically something like a ride down the alley. And it got disqualified, and I was mad. She said it didn't count for what I was.
It was too big.
Well, the whole thing was like invent something from the Industrial Revolution. And I'm like, cars were invented during the Industrial Revolution, but, you can't argue with a nun.
Ain't that the truth?
They got Jesus on their side.
Are those stories true about how they treated you guys?
I'm going to tell you the truth.
I got stories too.
I'm going to tell you the truth. So I've had horrible experiences with the clergy, and some of the greatest people I ever met in my life were in the clergy. I've said Father Bill Burke, who passed away, one of the most influential men in my life, an incredible man, wonderful parish priest, and just a great man. Other situations I had, not so great. The nuns, though, I always said, how can a woman so close to God be so mean? I mean, I got hit with rulers, a yardstick. We had another one that it was called the Board of Education, and it looked like a freaking, what's that Indian sport? Cricket. It looked like a cricket paddle that had holes in it for aerodynamics, and you get whacked on the ass. And here's the worst part. If you went home and told your parents, my father would slap me again for getting in trouble in the first place.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Yeah,
Insanity.
70s, 80s Catholic school. There were books that would fly across the room at you. Kids got poked.
The face poking.
You got dragged by the ear too. Down the hall by the ear.
If it was nowadays, Ed, that school would be on fire.
Yeah,
it was wild. Well, Ed Hale, listen, you are to me. I think you're one of the great Baltimoreans of all time.
Well, thank you.
I'm proud to be a friend and be able to call you. And I root for you, everything you do. And if you decide to run for governor, in all sincerity, anything I could do, I'm a huge fan of yours. The Blast will start January 3rd, 2026. Congratulations, a decent year, finished third.
We had a very, very good team, Mickey.
Yeah, I know you did.
A lot of young guys with a couple of the veterans. We had a very good team. We had a real shot this year.
And is David coaching?
Yes.
And how's he been doing? Good?
He wasn't coach of the year. He's coach of the year for me.
I love David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since I signed the front of the check, that's very important.
Yes, it is. And so you're happy with David so
very
far?
Happy with
David.
I
love David Bascom. Great guy. Good family man. Where's it? Bermuda. Correct?
Yep,
He's from Bermuda.
Correct.
I'm going to get him on one day. The Baltimore Blast soccer camps are always a blast. How do people get? Is it BaltimoreBlast.com?
.com. Just do that, and we have a lot of information out about it. It's doing pretty well, and we're going to be in like 28 locations this year. With our players are going to be the real players, the starters are going to be doing the camps.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, man.
Key.
Yeah, no doubt. Ed Hale, you are a legend in this town, and thank you for your time. I really appreciate it, and anything we could ever do for you here, man, let us know.
Well, I wish you well on this new venture
Thank you.
for you guys.
Thanks,
and,
buddy.
I hope it works.
It will, man. It will.
You're a lot of fun. You guys are just a lot of fun here.
I appreciate it. Ed Hale, everybody.
Thanks so
tomorrow,
much, Ed.
tomorrow on the show, who do we got, Matt? Who we got?
What is tomorrow? Thursday?
Steve Huber from
Got
100.7
Huber,
The
yeah.
Bay will be in. And also, I want to remind everybody, please share. Find us on YouTube. Are we on Rumble now? We're everywhere, right?
Yeah. But please subscribe to us. It's a brand new YouTube channel. It's
Yeah.
Mickey Talk at Mickey Talks Pod, P-O-D.
Yeah.
And of course, find us on any of the platforms you consume podcasts: Apple, Amazon, Spotify. We're everywhere now.
Yeah. And Ed, I just want to say this one last thing to you. You're a good man, Ed Hale, and I'm glad I met you. And I know you've taken a lot of punches over the years, both in the press and in business. But having known you, you're a good man. You're one of the good guys, and I root for you every day, man.
Right,
I
thank
do.
you.
All right, Ed Hale, everybody. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Take it easy.